Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. I'm with Liz Trotter. This is Smart Business Moves.
Hey, y'all.
What is today? Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday, February 17th. Yeah. I
Hump
don't
day.
have any feelings like it's some weird day that I don't remember, like I did
You
yesterday.
want me to look it up and see what happened at this day in history?
You didn't find anything anyway. We had to wait until somebody got on the call that told us what it was. I don't even remember what it was.
It was Fat Tuesday.
Yeah. That Tuesday. Yeah. But when you search for it, it didn't even show up. So,
Well, I was looking at this day in history, so it was looking on the 17th of
oh, okay.
or 16th of February, which I guess every once in a while that happens to be Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Denise.
hello, Denise. So next year, Fat Tuesday will be someday other than February 16th, I assume.
It'll be February 18th or 16th.
Could
One of
be
those.
a leap year. You never know.
Hey, Linda. Yeah.
Crazy things happen.
All right. So are you guys ready to hear more about client loss? Hey, Debbie. Susan, oh, I harassed everybody on Monday about not saying hi. Now everybody's saying hi. Yay. I like it so much better. I like knowing who when I'm talking to people, I feel like I give better information than when I'm just sort of talking at the screen, you know? And Tom, I really give less information if it's just you and me because you already know the stuff.
Yeah, it's not even worth trying, is it?
Yeah, not at all. All right, I do want to share something really quickly here while you are pulling up because I see you efforting to do something over there.
I
Uh,
am pulling up my stuff.
in the professional house cleaners group, there was a question today, and the question was, I had this customer, an ex-customer, I had to cancel her because I fired her because of a bunch of reasons, and I can't even remember what all the reasons were. Some of you are in that group, so you will know which post I'm talking about. And she said that the customer then called her and said, hey, my new cleaning company can't get my floors as clean as you can. Would you mind telling them what you use? And she said, what would you all do? And at the time that I saw this post, there were over 340 comments, which is a lot of comments. It's only been up for like 4 hours. Sorry about my cat. Move it, Olivia. And I scanned through those, getting to the bottom, to the top, and I only saw two posts where people were saying that they would be willing to share whatever they do on the floors. And I just wanted to point out to everybody that the reason I'm bringing this up, and of course my post was the opposite, and I wanted to point out to everybody that that's what we're doing here, y'all. We're here on this call every single day, or I guess it's not a call, this Facebook Live every single day, because we really care about our industry, and we're here to be able to help you guys with what you want to do. We want you all to be better. We want all of us to be better. What I put in that post was a high tide raises all boats, meaning that the more we all know, the more we all can charge, the more respected we are. Hey, Brittany, the better it is for all of us. And I didn't really see a reason not to share what we do. They share in that group all day long. That's all they do in that group is share their best
But was
strategies.
the question to tell your former client how a new cleaning company should be cleaning her floor?
Yeah. What are her tips? What are the gal that was posting? What are her tips for cleaning the floor? Because she always did such a wonderful job.
Did
And
anybody suggest, like abrasive cleaner or something that would
of
not be?
course, a lot of people said, tell her just water, tell her it's your grandma's secret, just ignore her, tell her you use a really strong acid, tell her,
Bleach and ammonia. I mean,
yeah. they gave tons of advice around the idea of basically the idea of don't be helpful, don't help
Public
each
service
other.
announcement. We all know here that you don't put bleach and ammonia together because it creates a
Oh
poison
yes,
gas that can be very
yes,
deadly. So don't people die doing that. Please don't ever do
yeah.
that.
So if anybody
Don't,
ever heard that,
don't mix
serious,
don't mix any chemicals
any
together.
chemicals. Yeah, good. Tom, I don't think I ever told you about my mother-in-law doing that, and she killed her own parrot. Did I tell you that?
No. It's like
Yeah, she
the canary in the coal mine. In this case, it was the parrot.
parrot. Yeah, really, really did kill her own parrot. Yeah, mustard gas, right?
Mm.
So anyway, I just wanted to point out that we're here every day. We're helping you for no other reason than we want to we want to help everybody. We really want to help our entire industry. We really believe that if we're all running our businesses better, smart, then we will all be better off. So just wanted to point that
And
out.
you're sharing it because the point is, it's not just about Liz and I helping everybody. It's like everybody here needs to be helping everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys too, right? You're learning a lot of stuff. You have a lot of information already. Look how many times you guys have posted stuff. We're like, oh, that's genius. Yes, that's awesome. We all need to be sharing, and we all need to be lifting each other up and doing that and helping each other, our fellow cleaning business owners. The better one of us is, the better all of us is.
Yeah, we were. I mean, oh, gee whiz, we
I know.
got work to do here. But we
Yeah.
were just talking the other day about, this can, owning a cleaning business can be a miserable existence sometimes.
Gosh, this is a hard, hard job, and it's a hard industry. And for a lot of people, it can be really alienating. Really, you can not feel good about your job, and you can feel even like it's even harder. And where do you get training? I mean, what an awesome opportunity for this woman. I said it's an awesome opportunity for you to become the expert in your area, in your town, your city. Yeah, nobody cleans floors like you do, Mary. It's always an opportunity when someone needs your help. It's
And
an
that could be a whole new gig,
Yeah,
really. It's kind of like, maybe I'm not cleaning everybody's homes, but I'm, you got your own cleaner. We'll work with your cleaner to help them meet
yeah.
your expectations, your scope of work.
My recommendation was that she even say, of course, absolutely, we'd love to help them. We also have a wonderful training program that they might like to go through. I mean, why not?
Give a
Could even become
proposal.
a revenue
You know,
generating.
for some fee, I'll basically go and work with them and show them all the things that they need to do to know to clean your home the way that you want it.
Yeah, I'll teach them. Sure. I'll do a quick phone call and give them some information. But if they want more information, I can. I'm readily available for a fee. I'm happy to give them, charge them $65 for an hour long coaching session, if that would be helpful. How much are you charging for your cleaning? What if you could get more for answering the question about how to clean floors? So, hey, Leslie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Linda. All right. So
So
I don't think my response is popular.
all right. Well, the whole idea is to try to help each other, help the industry,
Yes.
and really all the stakeholders. We're most of the people on this call, if not all of them, own and run their own cleaning businesses. But it's also about making good jobs with the people that work for you, and it's also about honoring the trust that your clients place on you. A lot of people put trust on your cleaning professionals trust you, or they should. If we're doing what we're supposed to do, they do, and your clients trust you. We need to be trustworthy, and we need to take care of all of them, and that's really what this is about as well.
Yep.
We got to help each other do that. So enough of that for today. Can we talk about that again tomorrow, maybe? Well,
We probably won't need to. Well, let's see how many posts it gets after today, right?
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Were we here yesterday? We were here yesterday, right?
Yep, we sure were, Tom.
And did we share yesterday that your market analysis workbook was in cleaning business today?
Say it again.
Did we share yesterday that your market analysis workbook is in cleaning business today for a download?
Yes, you did.
Oh, for the sake of being redundant, I'll do it again.
Okay.
If you go to cleaning business today / you can just type SBM. I'll drop the link here. Golly, there was a time that every day that we had a resource. We're getting kind of slack on that. We've
Yeah. Well, we've changed our format a little. I mean, we weren't spending so much time talking about KPIs either. And I think a lot of people are getting a lot of value from KPIs. So
that's what I'm hearing. So, well, if this is helpful, we can talk KPIs for a long time. Okay, so this link here, if you click on the market analysis process, it's really a workbook. It's pretty cool. And it is 49 pages long.
yeah,
Don't download.
don't hold that against me, y'all. And you don't have to fill in the whole workbook either, y'all. That's just it's made so that you can do multiple, you can call multiple companies and you can get different quote, or you can get 3 different quotes from multiple different companies. So it's just it's made so that you can do a lot with it, but you don't have to. All right.
We were talking about yesterday the whole idea of golly day, we said attrition rate. Didn't we change that?
We did. Loss rate.
Yeah. Well, I thought we did.
So when we got off the Facebook Live, you changed it again, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just copied the wrong slide. But
I'm glad, Cindy. I'm glad you're getting value from our Facebook Lives.
So what's the point? What's it really cost us when we lose a recurring client? I guess maybe is the question that we need to answer. Does it really matter if we've got a high loss rate for recurring clients? I mean, we had a model yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday. It's all a blur that shows what your revenue can be. I have no idea where that model is at the moment. It's in here somewhere.
One of those pages. So
I'll find out a bit, but
more left. So the big thing that you just want to be able to remember is that a 5% loss rate is it's a much larger number as your company gets bigger. So 5% of 100 is only 5 clients that you're losing, but 5% of 1,000 is 50 clients that you're losing. So it gets harder and harder to replace those larger numbers. So the percentage can mess us up a little bit because we're thinking that, it's 5%, it's always the same. I've always been able to do that, but the number is growing as the company grows. It's just one of those little things that, of course, when you think about it, of course it makes sense, but you can not think about it too and just fall into this place where you're thinking, I've always had a loss rate of 5%. It's always been fine. So
we wanted to.
Leslie had a question too, Tom. Did you see that?
Nope. What do we got here? I know there's some free sexual required in California. Anybody have any links for these?
I didn't even know about it, Leslie. Great information. Yeah, I had no idea that they were required. No links currently, but I can look around, see what I can find out. I know quite a few people doing business in California. Let me make myself a little note here. Leslie.
What about department that would be under, like Department of Labor, maybe? I mean, If it's a
No,
required program,
I can't imagine that they're not going to have some, right? They're auditing and fining. Yeah, they're going to have something. Yeah.
yeah.
Looking at the yearly loss of a recurring client is key when considering firing someone. So,
Yeah.
Denise, you're like me, right? I'm looking at that number, right? When I'm deciding if I want to fire somebody or not. Absolutely.
So this was we started building this little spreadsheet here real quickly just to calculate what the
Yeah.
lifetime value is.
All right. So
And
lifetime value is over the course of the amount of time that you keep a client. A lot of times we don't know what our average amount of time is. So Tom, make sure you walk us through that from the beginning again. Tom's going to show us that, which is super easy. You just got to do it. So how much money does the average client bring you for the amount of time that they are with your company? That's all that lifetime value of a client means, is how much money you're going to get out of that one customer or one client.
we've talked about this number here.
Mhm.
This is really kind of the focus of our discussion is the average monthly loss rate per recurring home. And we've talked about how to calculate that before. Do we need to do that again?
Okay, you guys, if let us know if you guys need us to redo that again, or if it's fresh enough or you can go and watch it tomorrow. If you want us to do it again, say yes. We get enough yeses, we'll do it again. Just go forward from here though, Tom. Just start at the top and run down. See if we
Yeah,
get any
if anybody
yeses.
wants to do that, we'll do that real quick. But let's assume we all know how to get that number, which is basically how many recurring customers did you lose in a month divided by all of the recurring customers you have. Okay, pretty
Yep.
easy.
Oh,
So,
Tom, we've got 2 yeses here.
okay,
And
so we're making progress. That's good.
oh,
That makes me feel good. So whatever this percentage is, you take one and divide it by that percentage. So if it's at 5%, then you take one divided by 5% or 0.05. Yeah, stop it. And it gives you 20.
Can you put that little formula, Tom, over somewhere like in column D so they know what that is?
Um, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Cindy. So Denise and Linda, you guys, I can talk to you guys in group since you guys are the only ones that said yes. I can talk to you in both in group about this and walk you through a little bit again.
It's basically one just divided by whatever your loss rate is. If you think about this 5% over 20 months, you take 5% 20 times, that's 100%, right?
Mhm.
If I have a loss rate of 10%, that number goes down to 10. I have a loss of 20, and that's 10 months. I have a loss of 25%, then the average is going to be just 4 months.
Right.
Now, if you have a loss rate of 25% on your recurring clients, I don't
You're
know if
not in business right now.
I've never seen that. But I have seen 5. 5 is not unusual to see.
Nope.
Okay. So if your average recurring client is going to be with you for 20 months, what is the revenue? How much money will that customer pay you over that 20-month period? And that's a function of the number of months, in this case 20, times the average number of jobs you do in a month. In this case, we said 2. You're going to multiply that times how much revenue do you make on the average per job for those clients. In this case, we said 150, and it comes out to be $6,000.
So lifetime value of a customer in this company's scenario would be $6,000. It would not be however much you get from them a year. It would not be however much you think you get from them. It would be this number. If you have a customer that you've had for 25 years, let's say, or 20 years, let's say, yes, you've gotten a lot more from them. But that's because when you keep your long-term clients, you keep them for a long time, you still have to put them in with all the people that churn, the clients that churn in that first year, that come, go, come, go, come, go. And so that's why you want to keep the $6,000 as your average, because it's going to give you a more realistic number to be thinking about when you're thinking about letting go of somebody, because you don't know which ones are going to stay for 20 years. And you're going to have to churn through a lot before you get to that one for 20 years. So that's why the $6,000 number is so helpful. So it looks like Leslie's got 3456 a year is her average here.
Okay.
And so lifetime value is helpful, because if you can increase your lifetime value, if you can take it from 20% down to 10%, move that number for us, Tom. Oh, no, down. Oh, so like 2.5.
Oh.
Okay. Look at there. Now your average customer is bringing in 12 grand. So you're really wanting to keep this customer, and you might try a lot harder to keep a customer that is worth $12,000 to you. I mean, I would. I mean, I'm trying hard to keep all of them, but
I guess the question, though, is how do we want to define value? One of the things that we want us to be thinking about is how many homes we clean doesn't necessarily define our success. How much revenue, top line revenue we generate doesn't necessarily define our success. Oftentimes it's a metric that we talk about, the idea of, do you have $1 million cleaning company, meaning $1 million top line? All that's, awesome. But it's everything that happens below that top line that has a profound bearing on, you making money or not. And we wouldn't have spent a month talking about loaded direct payroll to revenue if that didn't matter. So if you got $12,000 average revenue from a recurring client, what is your loaded direct payroll to revenue? Maybe it's 45%. And if it is, then your gross profit is going to be your lifetime revenue times 1 minus your loaded direct payroll to revenue. Because if you remember, we've said loaded direct payroll to revenue is a proxy for cost of goods sold. And we can go back through all that again if we want to, but I think that we've probably...
I think we beat that little puppy up.
We got one pretty good, haven't we?
Yeah, we did. Boy, that was a terrible term that I just threw out there. I apologize, everybody.
That's okay.
That one. That was not nice.
Yeah.
Agreed, Denise. Information is so important, right? This is why we're doing this. A lot of times we think we just need to look at a few different numbers. How much money's in the bank? I know a lot of people that run their company that way. How much money is in the bank today? They literally go and look and see, okay, I'm good. But that's being very reactive. What if there's no money in the bank when you go to check, right? So instead, we're looking for ways that you guys can take control of your business so that you know how much money is going to be in the bank because you designed it that way. You created the amount of money that you're getting.
It's not an accident. It's not just happening. I mean, if you're lucky and these numbers happen to be these numbers, you can be making a lot of money for the time that these numbers are these numbers. But this is what happens over time. If you aren't making it happen, you can't be lucky forever, or the odds of that are pretty slim. If it's just happening by accident, sooner or later, it's going to accidentally start happening in a way that the numbers don't look so good.
With one, I always got to throw in my little argument for that, though, Tom. So, with one argument for that, if you are running your company in a certain way and you're at a certain size, and your knowledge and the way that you're running things might be perfectly appropriate at this size. The problem comes in a lot of times when you're trying to grow. So if you have a small company and you've been lucky, but your natural style of running things is the way that it's just going to kind of luckily end up that way, as long as you don't make any kind of material growth or changes, then you could stay lucky.
This is
Because
what happens, though, more times than not. If you don't change, that's fine, but the world around you is changing, and
it's
the
very true.
laws change, the economic forces in terms of what the wages need to be and what the market's willing to pay, and all of that will change over time in pretty dramatic ways over a long period of time.
We're
That
looking at the minimum wage right now, not even a long period of time, right? Yeah.
so if the world didn't change, then yeah, you can be lucky forever, but the world changes. How how the business works. Yellow pages really isn't a big deal anymore, right? Do you run a classified ad in the newspaper to find people?
Yeah, very good point.
Technology used to be having a dot matrix printer that you could print out a piece of paper and give to somebody with an address. This is the home you're cleaning today. A magnet board was high tech.
Yeah. Yeah, very good point. So I guess unless you are all by yourself, just paying yourself, then maybe you could be okay.
And living in some part of the world that people are still, internal combustion engine isn't a thing. I don't know. We're being silly.
I mean, if you never raise your rates or anything either, then if you're still charging right now $8 an hour, the same as you were charging 25 years ago, well, you can probably still be bringing in money, but I guess there won't be any money at the end of the day.
Okay, this isn't an accident. If you notice, average revenue per job and average jobs per month, those are green numbers on the big sheet that we've been talking about for a long time in terms of red numbers and green numbers, right?
What I call the KPIs, right?
The KPIs, key performance profit, key performance profit or profit performance.
Profit. I do key profit performance indicators.
The key profit indicators, maybe it's just a K, maybe. Anywho.
Anyway.
these guys, these two green ones here are the same two green ones that are the average bill rate per cleaning and the average cleaning per month per home. And these two red guys here, in terms of average monthly loss per recurring home and loaded direct payroll to revenue, are loaded direct payroll to revenue, and we used attrition here. We'll change that to loss. I think this is a graphic. I'll change that later. But these are 4 of the KPIs on the big calculator, if you will.
So we've talked a lot about the activities around the LDPR and what to do to drive that number down. But we haven't talked a lot about the different activities. We have talked about the activities for average revenue per job. We talked about price increases, price adjustments. I don't think that we've talked a lot about the other ones, though.
No,
yeah. Is that where we're going? Or?
We're going to be going there. We're going to talk about. We really haven't talked about, how we want to go about minimizing the loss rate for recurring homes, right?
Yeah, we haven't.
So that's really where we want to go with this. There's one thing I want to point out here before we go away from this zone.
Okay.
All this is implying that on the average, a recurring client is going to generate you $6,600 in gross profit. And if you remember, gross profit is what's left over after you pay your technicians and your other variable costs. So if you haven't paid your fixed expenses, that money goes to cover that. But ultimately, once you've done all of that, that's money in your pocket. That's profit. So you need to be thinking of it that way. That's how you make money. So if you got $6,600 for a recurring client that you're basically going to make as gross profit, how much would you be willing to pay in advertising and other things in order to get that client?
So that you could have more net profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question. There's a lot of schools of thought on that. The one thing I'll tell you that you need to be mindful of in this formula here, I got to wait 40 months to get my $6,600. So if I spend a crazy amount of money today on the idea of getting a recurring client that on the average, and some of them aren't going to last 40 months. Some of them, as Liz said, might last, 10, 20 years, and they do, assuming, you last 10 or 20 years. But others, won't even make it, past the first or second or third cleaning.
A larger quantity of them.
A larger quantity won't. And the ones that do and wind up sticking for a long, long period of time, you have to wait a long, long period of time to get this gross profit back. And that's a whole nother discussion, a whole nother calculation. And, you need to balance this lifetime gross profit against short-term, immediate-term cash flow issues. But just don't go crazy and saying, well, this is worth $6,600 to me, so I can go ahead and I'll spend, thousands of dollars in marketing to get, these incremental increases in recurring clients, because you can go broke that way. Does that make sense, Liz?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just public information, public warning announcement. Okay, we talked about controllable and uncontrollable yesterday.
Yep, it was a good one too. So that was a good discussion, I thought, Tom.
Yeah, and anything short of, death or moving to another part of the country, we want to act like and treat it like it's controllable, right?
Yeah, we want to think that way because we have a better chance of saving them if we do than if we don't. If we're just automatically thinking that they're not, then that they're not controllable and they're not savable, then we really don't even try at all. We don't put any effort in. Well, at least I don't put any effort trying to save the dead guy ever. Not even one time, not even 1 minute. Same thing if they're moving out of my service area. I don't anything. Actually, we used to continue sending them newsletters, just with the idea, unless they asked us to stop, with the idea that if they ever moved back, if they had relatives in the area, or, blah, blah, blah. But we didn't, other than that, we didn't do anything to try and save them. And so I guess that's the foreclosure one. I think that was Sarah that brought that up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
She had the lost job. Sarah had the lost job. Can't remember who had foreclosure, but somebody had foreclosure. And we kind of went back and forth on that one, controllable, uncontrollable. And I don't know, I might treat them as controllable just because I'm going to work harder to get them back. Even if their house was foreclosed upon, they're going to live somewhere. So what if when they move into an apartment, they need to have a move-in clean? All right, let's have it be me.
So what do we do to minimize the monthly loss rate per recurring home? What are the action steps? What do we need to do as a business to do that?
So what do you guys do? You guys do a lot of stuff. Recently, we just we did a challenge where people were listing 20 things that they do in their business that stands out, right? That makes a difference. All of those things are some of the things that we do to increase our retention, to keep from losing clients. So an example is actually, I was going to hope that somebody else would give us some examples. Anybody got an example there of what you do to keep
Samantha's
from
here.
losing?
I know she's got an example.
Got a lot of examples. Yeah. Hey, Sam. Uh, throw out some examples, y'all. And I know Leslie has a million things that she does. She holds on to her clients for a long time too. I know. So what are some of the things? So I'll throw out some stuff while you guys are thinking, or get you on the right track here. You might have a scorecard. Of what? Like you might send out scorecards so that your customers feel like they're being listened to and they're able to tell you anything that's bothering them. Yes, Sam, things that you do to hold on to them, to reduce the loss rate. If I don't let her in, she'll just keep on with the door. Yeah. So scorecards, you might do quality surveys on quality driven. Your program might do it. You might send them out on your own. Yeah. Yeah. Quality cleaning. Absolutely.
Good.
That might be something that you do. Yeah. We clean good. Yeah. Yeah. What else? What else do y'all do? How about some more things that I know that most of you do? Yeah, okay. Some personal calls, leave behind cards, Christmas gifts. Yes. How about reminder emails, reminding people when we're going to come out. Some greeting cards. Yeah. We might have text reminders in the morning. Yeah. Good swag, Tom. Give away disinfectant hand sanitizers. I'm going to include that in the swag, right? Giving them things. How about specials? Like maybe you give them a monthly special where that they can't get somewhere else. I'm very flexible with my clients, which has helped me. Flexibility is awesome. That's a great one. Helps me retain clients. If a client wants every other Wednesday at 11, I'll let them know we're probably not a good fit. Life happens and I don't run my business that way. It's worked well for the last 18 years. Yeah. I like flexibility, Tom. Let's get that in there. Because being flexible is definitely something that people do. How you manage your damaged items, is that what you mean by that, Glenda?
Don't damage items. Maybe that's.
Yeah. Well, less damage is definitely going to be great. I'm not sure exactly how you manage less damage, but I'd love to hear about that more. I would, since we have damage. Yeah, being personable, good customer service, or maybe excellent customer service. Yeah, send cards. Yep, greeting cards, anniversaries, death, weddings, babies, sick. Yes, absolutely. Sympathy, new birth cards. Yep. Tom, you should put cards in there. They want those in there. So greeting cards. Calling for a quality check and to build rapport. Yeah, absolutely. Phone calls. That's something that a lot of people don't do anymore, y'all. And when it's similar to, yeah, we don't make phone calls, so it's easy to think that nobody wants to hear from you. They don't want a phone call from you. But how do you feel when you go to the doctor and you have something and then the next day they call you to check on you, to see how you are? It's like, wow. They really
They
went out of their
care.
way. They do care. They called me. Susan, you like phone calls. You are in the minority for sure these days. So phone calls is a really great thing to do. You're trying to make it smaller, Tom? I just ran a contest on my Facebook page. Free cleaning for a year. Sounded awesome. Details were 2 hours per month for the winner. Got me 147 new subscribers for my newsletter. All right. So tell me how that helped you to keep your people and to keep from losing anybody, Cindy. Was it like very engaging so that your current customers were like, "Ooh, this is fun," and they could refer their friends to you? How did it help you keep clients? I'd love to hear more about that. I guess you're a dinosaur. Yeah, you may be. Aren't we all, right? The phone call thing. I never liked phone calls. I was so happy when everybody started liking texting.
You,
Oh my
you were talking about reducing damage, and
God.
we don't have to let that happen. I mean, there's things, it's just like,
Mhm.
same thing with safety, right? That, it's a matter, you need to measure it, you need to create accountability, you need to train to, the proper, cleaning methods, techniques, products in order to minimize damage. You need to set the expectation. It's just like accidents and people getting hurt at work. We can control that. I can't say that you can 100% eliminate it, but
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking I don't know how to eliminate it, how to keep it from happening. So after doing all of the stuff, it's in my mind, you are still going to get some damage. You're still going to get some accidents. It is going to happen. It's part of the business. But you're right, Tom. It absolutely there are lots of things to do to reduce it, which it's probably exactly
it's a
what
dangerous mindset, though, when you go, well, these things happen. It's kind of like losing clients. And is it controllable or is it uncontrollable? Once you start going down that path of, well, these things happen, then before you know it, you're giving everybody a license to let it happen more than it needs to.
yeah. I guess that's true, especially if you're
It's no
that's
different
the
than,
message.
it's no different than the mentality with a lost customer.
That's what I said. I guess that's true, especially if you're passing on that message to people.
You
If
you every the National Safety Council will tell you that every accident's preventable. In reality, that's not true. Occasionally, an airplane will fall out of the sky and land on you, and there's nothing that you could have reasonably done about it.
yeah,
But to go through, if you approach it from the standpoint of, well, just stuff happens and there's nothing you can do about it, then stuff will happen a whole lot more than what it needs to.
agreed. I totally agree with that. Who was that said that? Let me see. I can't even say. See. Oh, it's Glenda. So Glenda, I'm assuming that's what you meant. So yes, good addition here. I had something else about damage too that I was thinking of. Oh, just how you manage the damage. So if you do have damage in your home, how do you manage it? Do you make it easy on the customers or is it hard for them? Do they have to go find the thing? Do they have to give you a receipt? Do they, what is it? How do you manage it? Manage it in a way that makes it the best for the
Yeah.
client.
In a broader sense, managing, I hate to do this, we call them non-conforming issues. Well, it's a broader context. It could be broken item. It could be, breakdown and we didn't clean something right. It could have been a scheduling issue. It could have been a billing issue, customer service. It could have been anything that created a problem, an aggravation, a disappointment on the client side. How do you manage those things? We didn't meet their expectations, I guess, is said simply.
Yeah.
Which kind of gets us back to the definition of quality, where it's basically just setting expectations and creating the perception on the part of your client that their expectations are being met is the serve qual definition of quality. What are we doing to to make that happen. This was something I dug up that might be interesting, might be useful. I don't know if I meant to do that or not.
Let's see, Debbie, I have my staff make sure to call the pets by their names and show them attention. Clients love when they see how special their pets are. That's a great one. We do the same thing, Debbie. I love that. You're right. That makes clients not want to leave you. Same thing with their kids, right? I mean, don't get too close to their kids, obviously, but they want to see that you care about their kids too. Glenda, I personally purchased it. Oh, for damage. I used to make the employees pay for it, but now I just pay for it out of pocket. I don't make the client get inconvenienced since they didn't damage it. Yeah, that's great. Whatever you can do to make it as easy on the client as possible makes good sense. I know a company one time that they allowed their feelings to get tied up in it. So something would get damaged, and then they would force the client to give them the damaged thing, and they would give them the new one. And they would say, hey, that's what I'm doing. I'm buying your old one, which in reality, yes, that is what you're doing, right? I'm giving you $100 for that broken lamp. I'll take the broken lamp. Here's your brand new lamp, and I've made you whole. But still, it's frustrating for the customer. Sometimes they want to keep the other thing, whatever it is. Even though it's chipped or it's broken, they see it as an opportunity to now have two, and the broken one is not that bad. They'll fix it, they'll repair it. And so sometimes we can sort of shoot ourselves in the foot because we get tied up in this, yeah, but that's not fair thing, which is what happened today in that thread that I was talking about earlier today, right? People were tied up in this idea, but that's not fair. But fairness isn't going to make you money. So the client's version of fair is different than your version of fair.
Well,
that's a hard concept.
The flip side of it, I've got a lot of bric-a-brac and ornaments and things on shelves around my house that were broken items in customers' homes over the years that were repaired.
If they don't want the stuff, if they're not holding on to it and they don't feel like it's a bummer that I'm doing that,
or if they want to keep it, then at least we're going to have a discussion. It's like, well, what would be a fair financial compensation to compensate you for the insurance terms called diminution of value? Yeah. Okay, it used to be worth $500 when it was in perfect condition. It's not perfect condition. We're going to get it fixed. That's going to cost, $100. And maybe at that point, it's only going to be worth $300. So, you lost $200 in value and another $100 to fix it. So I'll give you $300 as opposed to $500, and you get to keep it. I mean, that's the way an insurance company would do it.
And we all love insurance companies. We want to stay with insurance companies really strongly. We're like, yes, I love it when my insurance company, I feel like they jack me around and I want to stay with them anyway. What I'm saying is, do you want this broken thing? Whatever this broken thing is, do you want it enough that you're willing to give up that $6,600 in gross profit? If you do, you like it that much, all right. Take it. It's yours. You bought it. Or negotiate with the customer. Go ahead. But customers really like ease. They really like it when you make them feel like they're special, that they are one of your favorite customers, that that you want them as much as they want you. Ideally, they would be happier if you wanted them more than they want you. And that you showed that to them and you made them feel that way. Am I saying that you have to give the customers all the broken stuff? No, absolutely not. I'm saying it's a way. It's one of the things that you can do. While we've been talking about KPIs, we're talking about all the different things to do. You've heard us say many, many times, you don't have to do all of these things. There's a laundry list of things that you can do. Just pick some. Just do the ones that you can do. Do what you can do to drive those red numbers down or to drive the green numbers up, whatever it is that you can. If what you're doing isn't moving those numbers in the right direction, whatever direction you're trying to go, then do something else. That's what the list is for. So all of these ideas, I don't see an idea on here that isn't a good idea, that can absolutely work. Do you have to do them all? Of course not. Absolutely not. But you could. What you got here, Tom?
So really, there's a couple of things going on here. A lot of the things that we're talking about are things that we should be doing on a perpetual basis to create more value in the minds of our customers, to be more sticky, to have our customers be more loyal to us and see more value in what we're doing. So if they run into one of those situations where they're having to contemplate making an adjustment to their budget, for instance, that they're going to be making some adjustments somewhere else other than getting rid of our cleaning service. And the other dimension is we need to be measuring the level of satisfaction with each and every one of our clients. And that's where we're measuring, you mentioned scorecards. We want to be, doing quality surveys. We want to be tracking those surveys to see, are we getting the feedback? And if we are, is it good? And if it's changing from what it used to be, is it, getting better or is it getting worse? And if it's getting worse, that's a leading indicator. Other behaviors, are they skipping jobs, for instance? And I mean, there's behaviors that they do both good and bad. If they're referring, their neighbors and friends, that's a good indicator. So it's like you want to be measuring the health, if you will, of your clients and be looking for the ones who are falling over into the unhealthy stage and behaving unhealthy, skips, bad scorecards, things of that nature.
Even worse, no scorecard. Worse than a bad scorecard is no scorecard, because you have no opportunity with no scorecard. I mean, you do have an opportunity, obviously, you always have opportunity, but you have a less of an opportunity.
But there's some people who just flat out don't want to be bothered by that. I don't do surveys, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't happy. They might be a client for 20 years and just not give you a survey if you allow that to happen.
Absolutely. And all of these things, again, you can do or not do. You don't even have to do scorecards. You can get scorecards from everyone. You can get them from no one or anywhere in between.
This is an interesting question. How often do we recommend sending out scorecards? Our standard operating procedure is to send out a scorecard after every job.
Ours too.
Never want to miss an opportunity to get feedback.
Yeah. I like to send them out every time, because you never know when the time is, when there's the thing that bothers the customer that they would have told you if they had the avenue to tell you. Because maybe there have been fined 20 cleanings in a row, and on this 21st cleaning, what the heck? But it's too hard. It's just, I don't want to deal with it. It's a hassle. So scorecards, sending them out on a regular basis and getting responses from people on a regular basis makes it easy. The more they do it, the easier it is for them. And it's easier for them to give what they might consider negative feedback, because I'm sure everybody here knows not everybody likes to give negative feedback. It's not easy for a lot of people. Some of you on this call know you don't like conflict. You'll be upset about something and you won't complain. Your customers are no different. Have you ever been to a fast food place and they give you your food and the fries are cold? Do you go back in and tell them? Sometimes maybe, sometimes no, right? But if they made it easy every single time, fries are cold. Fries are stone cold today, right? If they sent me a little survey after every time I got my food at Jack in the Box, I would love it. If I wasn't in the mood to fill it out, I wouldn't. And if I was, I'd tell them fries are cold, or Susie at the window was so amazing.
So when you get the scorecard back, or even if you don't, you send them out. And Liz, I've seen you do this, and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you invented a lot of these concepts, at least in the house cleaning industry, that you set the expectation with your clients, don't you? That you expect to get a scorecard back on some regular basis, not necessarily every one, but if they don't meet some minimum expectation, what happens?
Quarterly. So now, recently, over the last, I would say maybe 6 months, we have not been rigorous with this because of COVID. We know that people are just tired and burnt out and feeling really put upon. So we haven't been doing this. In the past, we've always done quarterly. You had to respond quarterly. If you didn't respond, you'd get a call. If you didn't respond to the call, then we would tell you that we were going to cancel your service. We give everybody a warning. We've canceled we dropped 2 customers. Now, I'm saying that right here in this conversation of reducing the monthly loss rate, right? So the reason why I would choose to drop customers that don't give us feedback is if I drop them then for something that they didn't do, I think it serves me better than if I drop them because somewhere down the road, they're dropping me because of something I didn't do, because they're not happy with our service. So usually, obviously, people will straighten up. And even the people that the 2 that we ended up canceling that did not want to give a scorecard, even they were like, yeah, it's just too hard for me. I travel too much. It's just blah, 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 blah. We've had other people that didn't want to, but they had a reason for whatever that we would work with, like not in town, vacations, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we for us, it was mandatory. Cindy, go ahead, Tom.
Wants to know about, do we mail them out? We send them out in emails. I think that's pretty much the most common way, or text.
Quality Driven does both. I think they do email and text.
Text, email, and occasionally a phone call. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, that's legit too. Putting it in U.S. Postal Service with a stamp on it. I don't know. I think personally, there's just easier ways to get that feedback.
And it's hard. The reason why it went to email, I believe, or at least one of the reasons why everybody now does email or text, is because it was hard. There was friction with the card. The customer had to keep track of it for 2 weeks, and they had to remember to put it out there. Go ahead, Tom.
I just had a flashback, though. There was a long time ago, that we had postcards that would be, and they were like U.S. postage paid, I think is what it was. So it didn't cost us anything unless they dropped it in the mail, and then we paid something to get it back.
Oh, cool.
And that was how we did our quality scores. But that was a long time ago. Technology, it was kind of like what we were talking about earlier. We don't have to change, but the world around us does.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different now. Susan's got a question. This is interesting.
Tom, I'm sorry. We are top of the hour, and these are all good questions here. Cindy also would like to see a scorecard. So can we maybe take a screenshot of this? We'll start up tomorrow, Susan, Cindy, with this information. Sorry. Yes, we can show you a scorecard, Cindy. And yeah, Susan, sorry. We'll talk about adding the information to the QDS email.
Yeah, we'll pick right up on this tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be here 5 o'clock Eastern. Take care. We'll wrap this whole topic up tomorrow, and we'll be moving on to another KPPI on Monday.
And think about more things that you do, because you do a lot more than just this list.
We're just scratching the surface, guys. We got work to do here tomorrow, okay? We'll see you tomorrow.